Hello. So yeah, I put effort. Um, so how we use Supabase in BetaShares Direct? I'll explain what BetaShares Direct is briefly down the line. So about me, not much. I'm a senior iOS developer at Beta. I've started around 10 years ago. Um, Basically, I started on a Hackintosh because MacBooks are crazy expensive. Now we're here. I do have a MacBook. That's good. Um, and yeah, that's my LinkedIn. That's about it. I've worked on probably 20 different apps by now. But for the last 3 years, I've been at BetaShares working on the BetaShares Direct app. About BetaShares, oh, yeah. It's a leading Australian ETF provider. We're also in New Zealand now, maybe someday in Korea. Do you guys know what an ETF provider is? Okay, cool. Wow, everyone investor here probably. Um, we help Australians build their wealth. And the new thing is the BetaShares Direct investment platform, which is not just on iOS, it's also on Android and on web. It's like this whole platform helping people invest and grow their wealth. Wow, that's like a sales speech. So what is Supabase? This will be really like on the top. It's basically a Firebase alternative. Well, it's four times faster reads and 3 times faster writes, and it's way cheaper. Um, this information might be old, but that's what I found online. But it's definitely cheaper. That's still true. It's great for web and mobile applications. You get real-time subscriptions to like tables and changes, which is also the main thing why we use it. This is all from iOS developers' perspective. I'm not gonna talk about any backend implementation because that's probably boring and we don't care about that. I mean, we're iOS developers, so. And it's open source and extensible, so unlike Firebase, this is open source. You can, add your own stuff to it. It's a way different product than Firebase. And it's also backed by a Postgres database, unlike Firebase. So yeah, quite a few cool things there. And if you want more, just check their website. Yeah, I mean, it's all there. Pretty much a lot of things here I pasted from their website. Yeah. So basically, what do we use it for? We basically have a Supabase kind of in between, and it acts as what we call an external executor. That's the only database that is exposed to the outside world, because of course when you do finance, you gotta have layers, like really a lot of layers, and only the external executor is exposed to the outside world. And for the mobile apps specifically, we do that through the Vapor backend. So we do have a Vapor BFF in the front that's written in Swift. How many people here know Vapor? Okay, a few, not many. So basically we just have that Swift backend in front, and then the Swift backend communicates to our mobile apps, iOS and Android. Because the Vapor was done before Android app was in development, of course it's all in Swift. And the other thing that we use it for, which is basically like the main thing, is the real-time subscriptions over WebSockets. It's really cool because you can subscribe to changes, meaning that you can basically make sure that your app is up to date. Because we all know, like, you do something in the app and then it's like, what the heck, and then you like pull to refresh. I mean, that just sucks. It's not 2005 anymore. It should just update automatically. So yeah, real-time subscriptions. How we use it. Basically, this will be really brief. This is really on the surface. I'm not gonna do any code stuff here. So yeah, we have a custom Supabase client implementation. So Florian mentioned there is a Supabase Swift now. Well, we are not using that at all because this was implemented before that. So it's basically, it sounds fancy, but I think it sounds fancy, but it's basically just a wrapper around the WebSocket client on iOS that just adds functions for Supabase. Basically, we listen, I think I have it actually. Yeah, so basically we just create a secure WebSocket connection. You just set in your headers your token and whatnot to have an authenticated session. And basically you subscribe to table changes. You just send a message, very basic stuff. And then you use Combine to observe and handle received events. We might update this in the future to support async await, but for now, with receiving stream of events, Combine just seems a bit easier. So we still use Combine in that case. There's a demo that I have. Just one example of how we use real-time subscriptions. Does it play? I think it does. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay. So basically, when you search for your security, when you go to buy it, you enter your amount. I'm gonna just buy $10 of it. And when you place an order, that sends a post request, and then we wait on a WebSocket update from Supabase that will let us know that the order has executed. Bam, we got a Supabase event in the background because the activity was updated in the activity table on the Supabase, and it also updates in the app automatically. You have your activity. There's no push notifications involved in this case. It's all just through a WebSocket, and because you can just subscribe to table changes, you can even do like more, kind of per row or like per column changes. So it really makes it easy to kind of make sure that your app just kind of stays in sync with the backend without constantly like calling get. So you can just receive the changes instead of just getting everything, which makes it much more efficient and faster. Who is this for? I have 2 points here, but pretty much I would say any modern app, because pretty much any modern app that, like, if you have users, if you have login, you're gonna need some kind of backend database. And Supabase, if nothing else, just for its price and performance, is probably a really strong candidate to use it. Plus it's open source and the community is really big. So yeah, it's good stuff. And also, yeah, like I said, you can use, I know, was it you, Cubo? You asked me something about push notifications, right? To update data. Yeah, so, and you know, it can be slow or unreliable. Like you might not even get a push notification if users don't allow push notifications, so you can't really rely on push notifications to update your data. And you really want to make sure that it updates in real time or almost real time. So Supabase is a good use case for that. They also have a lot of other things like authentication. Anyway, check their website. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Questions? Oh, there's a question? Whoa. Yeah, sure. I mean, I might not answer, but yeah, let's try.
Thank you. So yeah, I have a small startup and we use Supabase since 4 years almost. We are, at one point we decided to just kind of refresh and do like a get every 5 seconds, and we were concerned to use real-time kind WebSocket because we were afraid that if we have a ton of person on our website, we were already struggling with the pool, like the number of connections needed to Superbase. So I wanted to know if you have any experience with scaling that.
Well, I don't know about how exactly it is hosted, because do you self-host Superbase? Oh, it's on Superbase.
Yeah.
Okay, so that might be slightly different. But I did see probably a year ago, we did some tests where they tried to do, I think, almost 1 million subscriptions at once from different users, and it was still running fine. But it might also have to do with how we host it, and we do have more instances. So I'm not sure exactly, but yeah. I would say that probably that wouldn't be my first worry, because for us we had problems like when it disconnects. You know, you gotta spam. Do you use the SDK they provide, or you have your own implementation?
No, we use SDK and the script SDK, I think.
Because I'm not sure in the SDK they provide how it's implemented, but I know in our custom one, like you gotta spam that heartbeat every like recommended 30 seconds, otherwise it disconnects. So you gotta make sure that's always sending. You gotta reconnect if app goes in the background and like back in the foreground, like a lot of things to handle and like reconnect. But yeah, like.
Because now, I mean, just to finish on that, like we are thinking to add live chat, and so we were thinking to use this feature for live chat. Do you think it can make sense?
I think that would make sense. We do have live chat, but we use a different open source platform for that. It's called Chatwood. It's like an open source intercom. I don't want to sell it, but we do for chat specifically, because that one you also get like your chat dashboard, so your customer support can be there. You know, they can handle customers. You can assign agents.
I mean, I'm a competitor to Intercom. So
Okay, so
I'm building something similar.
So have you checked Chatwood?
No, I don't know this one.
Okay, maybe check it out. It's interesting. Maybe you get some ideas. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question? No. So I want to know. Yeah.
Oh, I cannot yet.
It's not because I'm the one that I cannot.
Okay.
So, what made you decide to use Superbase over, implementing the WebSocket on your own, or even considering other platforms? Same related to the question why Vapor, because I think many people they don't want to ask the question, but I'm the one. Why Vapor?
Okay. So Superbase, that decision wasn't on my side, but I know it was it was chosen because of the speed and Postgres in the back, which is way better, and it's just better than Firebase. And the speed. Did I say speed yet? Did I?
You can say it.
Okay, so it's speed. So, because when we started using them, that's probably now it's probably more than 4 years ago, 4 to 5 years ago. It wasn't as big as it now. Actually, most people didn't know what Superbase is, but now kind of people know. And I think, the backend team just kind of likes that it's performant, that it's open source, and that it's new. That's definitely something that our team likes, new. Definitely. Maybe the new was the main reason. I don't know specifically, but so far, no regrets. It's working quite well.
And in the context of you working on a finance app, was there any concern, security or
Yeah.
Mostly, it's rare to see that a fintech application use cloud services. A lot of them use on-premise.
So, like I mentioned, Superbase is only used as an external executor, which is a limited copy of the internal executor database that has a lot of personal information. The external executor has a very limited scope of that information, and it's literally meant to just it's just meant for clients to, you know, fetch data. And I think that's why, at least for us in our case, because Supabase is literally meant to just interact with external things. It's not, we don't use Supabase for internal, like the, you know, like the trade reporting, like all of that, that is done internally in completely different databases in a different cluster that is not accessible by the outside world.
And maybe last from my side is, I remember you were telling me a couple of sessions ago that you might have some discussion with the Supabase team because of some use cases that BetaShare was having. Can you talk a bit about that, if possible? Or
I don't remember well what it was exactly.
yeah.
But if in the future I do a deep dive, I can get information. I'll literally talk to the guy who was chatting with Supabase to implement those changes. Yeah.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.